The infrared fans, they were weird. And when I say weird, I don't mean like freaky. I mean just kind of like, it felt like they didn't know how to be in public. Basic Biff redeemed tell a story. Yo, I'll tell a story in relation to the Rage Against the Machine rally. So I'll tell the story and then we'll talk about the rally. So I walked around the rally for like a good 4 hours. I went there, I thought it was gonna be like an hour or 2 hours long. So I was like running to get there because I was a little late. And then it went for 4 hours and then they did a march away from the place and then did more speaking at another place in front of the White House. They had 19 speakers, like 3 musical performances, more speakers at the White House. Like, it was too long, like way too long. But in that time, I got to walk around a lot. And during all that walking around,
Putin as a fascist has donated $10. Praise be to almighty Danabo. Also to Dylan for putting up with that shit.
Thank you for the $10. I appreciate that. All praise to almighty Danabo. We got a wealthy person. Oh, not a wealthy person, but we got a big boy, dollar boy who liked that big old debate. As I was walking around, I thought, and this almost made me not go because I was like, I don't know how much I just want to have people yell at me all day. But I was pretty hungover and I also hadn't slept. So I had basically made the calculation that I just wouldn't have the energy to get angry anyway. And I think that really helped, not having the energy to be angry. But somehow I had the energy to run. My legs were tired as hell though because I didn't get any sleep. But when I was there, I walked around for 4 hours. Most of the people that recognized me were very polite. Even if maybe they were being polite and then mean later or something. I saw like a ton of people like sneaking photos. Maybe not a ton of people, but I saw people sneaking photos, which is really weird when somebody sneaks a photo. Like if they're a journalist and they're taking pictures of me, I understand that, right? If they got, but it was just like randos, right? Like if I walked up to somebody, took a picture of them, nobody's gonna bat an eye because I had a press card and I had a camera. I was very clearly designating myself as press. And the reason I wanted to is I didn't want anybody to see me at a basically stop sending the aid to Ukraine march and think I at all agree with that. So that's why I went out of my way to get a press card so people knew I was press. Omega Lib, thank you so much for the Prime. I really appreciate you connecting your Amazon Prime account and then gifting it to me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It seems like, oh, we just had a poll in Gutter Chat. What was the first socialist state? And there has never been one with 51%. The other options were Biden's America, the Ottoman Empire, and the Soviet Union. Soviet Union got last, by the way, which is pretty funny. Dude, the Ottoman Empire was socialist. Yeah, all those, you know, the socialist belief system where they taxed other religions outside of Islam for being other religions. That, you know, that sounds very socialist. You know, socialism, the thing that, you know, thinks religion is a basically like is a spook. It is there to distract you and to placate the working people. Yeah,
Blue
makes
Rider
total
of
sense.
Neptune gave Putin as a fascist a tier 1 subscription. I like to see that name in Ukraine gold.
Amen. That's a good reason to give somebody tier 1. You guys might make me do chat war if you keep subbing like this. You got to make all this. I don't know. If you keep giving me money and I don't even need to do chat war, then I mean, what complaints do I have? Anyway, I was walking around. There was, I think, 3 interactions that were negative. And when I say negative, just like an interaction where I felt like I got nothing out of it, right? Because they were just mean to me or they were not nice to me and I got nothing out of it. Because like I had people who came up to me and like IRL debated me. There was these people, for example, LaRouchites were low-key debating me like all day. I debated like 3 separate LaRouchites and it wasn't because I sought it out. It was they would go to me and then they would say, you're Dylan Burns. And then they would try to like debate me on LaRouchism. And again, I had a hangover and I wasn't there to debate. I wanted to interview people because that's what I was interested in. Like what type of person goes to this event. I'm going to be doing a video on it. But if you guys want to see the LaRouchites that came up to debate me, here they are. They were LaRouche boys. They were infrared fans as well. Oh God, dude, I gotta say, the infrared fans there were like, and these guys in comparison were like, whatever, right? The infrared fans, they were fucking weird. And when I say weird, I don't mean like freaky. I mean just kind of like, it felt like they didn't know how to be in public. Like it was very much like they were very like hiding behind like their clothing. Like it was very strange to see them. Because I interacted with 2 infrared fans. The first one, I was talking to somebody else, I was interviewing them, and they say from like the side, imperialist dog, or something along those lines. And I turn to them and I say, do you want to talk? And before I even finished, they were already running away. Like they were running away, and they turned, and they didn't even turn around. They did this. They did the flip over the shoulder, the middle finger over the shoulder. And like I was willing to like have them come up to me, and they could be like, "You're a pig dog," da, da, da. And I would have recorded it, and I would have acted normal, and they would have, you know, probably freaked out, and I would have been like, "Okay, at least it's content, whatever." But it was even worse than that. I would have respected that more, because I'm a person who, if I say something about somebody, I feel like I should be able to say it to their face. And when I say it to their face, I don't mean like, you suck. Like, I don't think that's saying it to your face, because you're saying words and then don't want to get a response for them, or like you don't want to see the consequences of those words. Like you're too scared to even say it to me and like stand there, right? There was even somebody who did that to Jackson Hinkle. But Jackson Hinkle would have probably been fine if he just shrugged his shoulders, confused, and then like looked away. But instead, he was like, he started to call him an F slur as he walked away, completely making him look like the bad guy, because it saw how little it took to make him that angry to start throwing slurs around. But he was like, imperialist dog. And by the time I turned around, I was like, yo, do you want to talk? Because I was like, I can interview you, or you can talk without the camera. Because most of the people I talked to at the event, I didn't interview. I didn't like formally interview. I interviewed them off script, because most people didn't want to be filmed there, because a lot of them didn't want to be associated with the event publicly, which is probably not a good sign if people don't even want to be associated with your event publicly. But he just like ran away. Like he didn't even want to talk to me. Then it happened another time. The same thing happened where they were like, and I can't hear it half the time because they say it so quickly before running away. It was like, CIA dog, or like CIA, it was like CIA fed, da, da, da. And I turned to them and it's like, you want to talk? And the same thing, just ran away. And they were all like in hoodies, like hood up, you know, like long, like scraggly hair. And I like long hair. It was scraggly. And they were like running away. They were like tiny, scrawny motherfuckers too. Right. And I don't want to attack their appearance, but like, it was like the stereotypical kind of like forum scroller that you see in like all of the meme. Like what was you know, the soy jack? And I hate to say this, but it was not this soy jack. It was this soy jack right here. This was basically, I don't have a picture of them, but I don't need a picture. This is what they look like. I'm not trying to be mean, but like if you're going to insult me and then like walk away before like even let me like talk to you, then at least I can do is give an accurate description without holding back. The last person I went to, I think it was the American Student Union. I think, what's it called? The American Students Union, or something along those lines. This one, yeah, the American Student Union. Yes, this organization right here. So I was walking past all of the tables that were set up, and these guys had a table, and like while I was walking past, one of them said, Dylan, and I stopped and I looked around for who called my name, and I look over and he said, you're Dylan Burns? And I'm like, yep, I'm Dylan Burns. And I was like, I was just like about to, you know, I was going to talk to the guy at the desk, handing out stuff. And the guy behind him said, why don't you go back to Ukraine, Dylan? And he just like barged in, and I looked up at him and I said, I will in 2 weeks, actually. He's like, why would you go back? Because the neo-Nazis beat up your friends. Azov beat up your friends. And I give him the most eyes glazed over look you could possibly imagine, like completely lost about what he even means. Like, who? Like, what? Like, I don't know what is he even talking about? Then it clicks. Like 3 or 4 months ago, somebody made a Dylan Burns parody account, and in that parody account, it tweeted, Dylan Burns is it wasn't even like a parody account. It's not openly marked as parody. They replaced the 1776 in my with an I to make it look as realistic as possible. And they made a tweet. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe all my friends were beaten and killed by Azov. It was like the fakest shit ever. And the dude just like saw it then, bought it, and like held it in. And then once he saw me, like the first thing that he went to was that fake tweet. And so I told him that was a fake tweet. You believed a parody account. Congratulations. And he's like, whatever. And then I asked for some of the material. he said, he, and the guy at the desk, being more normal than his completely socially awkward and clueless friend, hands me one of the, well, doesn't hand me, but says, yes, you can take some. And so I took one of their brochures, I read through it. And the reason I read through it was not only because I wanted to read it, I also wanted to see if the other guy would say anything else, or if he would just back down. And he just backed down. He didn't say a single other thing to me. He seemed pretty like what is it, crestfallen? I think that's the term, crestfallen. Anyway, those are the only bad interactions. I had at least like 20 people stop me and say, Dylan Burns, hey, how you going? How's it doing? I heard about this event because of your tweet, and I came here to say hi. Or like, I recognize you. I might not agree with you, but can I take a picture? Like the rest of it was really nice, actually, unironically. Those are the only 3 designated like 100% weirdos that recognized me. There might have been other people like LaRouchites that recognized me, and I think their ideology is like silly, or like I think it's crackpot, but they didn't, at least they didn't act like weirdos or act like freaks or something, you know? My goodness.